to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.
Promise.
Hey, yo, back there somewhere is Tate.
Fuck that's so I can see me.
You can see you. We can't see you, but that's all right. That's all right. Tate is in there somewhere. Anyway, hey, folks, thank you very much again for coming back and joining us here at the Big Boneyard. It's been about 7 days. You can say that all the time. It's been about 7 days since we last had a chance to chop it up, and I'm glad y'all came back. It's gonna be some fun tonight. You know, I think this is what we're talking about tonight is going to be kind of interesting, but we always talk about all kinds of interesting shit. But yeah, man, I suppose it's not cursed so early. I'm working on that.
Shit's not a curse word.
Yeah, it's like a rule or something with YouTube, as far as profanity, cussing, and whatnot. And you're not supposed to do it within a certain period of time. And I have a tendency to break that rule.
We'll figure out what that period of time is, and don't let me talk during it.
Right, that part. You know, like maybe we just sit here, like, you know, counting our fingers or whatever. But yeah, and actually, it's so funny. I had a meeting. We had an ABATE meeting last week, and after the meeting, Miami's like, you know, stop cutting. She was like, if we had a swear jar, I would have made a car payment. But I'm working on it. The other thing is, yeah, allegedly. I want to get to work. One thing I definitely want to address right now that we always do, almost missed it a week or two ago, and that's the disclaimer. What we're going to be talking about are the opinions of myself and Tate. These are our personal opinions. They do not reflect our organizations. While we love our organizations, we love and respect our organizations, but this is us. This is our opinions only. They're not associated with anybody or any other organization. No MC, no that part, right? Are we in agreement with that, Tate?
Yeah.
Y'all heard him. He agreed. All right. So a couple of things, what we like to call housekeeping, just some stuff that we want to make sure that folks know about, that you have an opportunity to participate in. In fact, there's one, I don't have them in front of me. One, motorcycle raffle. My club is doing a really cool motorcycle raffle. I mentioned about it before. Some folks are getting tickets. For sure, get tickets, because we're only going to provide a limited number of tickets, as in we ain't doing this for 5 years or something crazy. It's going to be just a few months. We're going to make the tickets available. After that, that's it. So tickets, they're $25. Get you one. Is for a 2007 Softail, Heritage Softail. Beautiful freaking bike. There's pictures of it online. So get it, $25. Like I said, the girl who won the last bike, God love her, but she's getting on everybody's nerves because she painted the bike black and she won't stop going everywhere talking trash about the fact that she won the bike.
Well, the fact of the look I'm getting right now, yeah. I need you to put Kaylee's name on one of those tickets and tape it to the side of that jar.
Okay, the swear jar.
She's been wanting her own bike for so long, so just stick it to the side of that jar and make sure that's the one you pull up out.
I'll tell you, out of the last, this is no kidding. I think this is because women buy more tickets or something, but out of the last 5 bike raffles that I know that's come either out of my house or somebody else's house, the last 4 of those bikes went to women, and you know, and they're in different states too. So that was very interesting to me because I pay attention to this stuff, you know, because like the lottery and stuff, I'm like always wondering what are the numbers, and I'm like, what the hell? But seriously, I think that women, like when you go to an event, it's women buying the T-shirts and the hats and the swag and all like that. So as it relates to the raffle tickets for these motorcycles, women buy it like more frequently than guys do. And the one chick, one girl that was in Ohio, she said she bought the raffle ticket for her boyfriend. Then they broke up behind that same bike because she decided it was her bike. She wasn't giving up the bike. So, you know, it's me or the bike. She took the bike. Anyway, So make sure you get at me, hit me up on social media. If you got my number, call me. I'll make sure you get some raffle tickets. You do not want to miss that. Also, things you don't want to miss, especially if you're a motorcycle club member, if you are an ABATE, which ABATE comes out huge for income every year, but motorcycle club members, ABATE members, MRF members, have your ass at Incom. Incom, it's Mother's Day weekend. It's going to be in beautiful Biloxi, Mississippi, where the casinos are. It's at the casino resort and that whole thing. If you've not seen the flyer, get at me. I'll make sure we put it out there, but it's definitely that time you don't want to miss. The beaches, the casinos, the nightlife, the food, everything. It's absolutely all that. So just make sure I see Skinny saying, Skinny said Incom, he's there. So yeah, definitely. Y'all make it a point to get there. Clinton Lund, you need to bring your butt there too, sir. I'm trying to tell you.
There.
Yeah, it's going to be lit. So good
I don't
thing.
know. She's smiling, so I may be there.
Yeah, right on. Another thing, in local news, that's how they say it on TV.
Local news.
Local news.
Florida man.
Yeah, right. It's usually that's how it goes. It goes in local news. Some ass in Florida did fill in the blank with some crazy stuff.
Listen, so this radio station I used to listen to down south
Mhm.
did a Florida man map, and
Shut up.
you would not believe it. Your neck of the woods has the most Florida man stories.
The Florida man sightings.
No, seriously, it was all like down Tampa, Pinellas County area. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, there's stupid shit that goes on all over the state.
And well, look, here's the thing though. I don't have a problem believing you at all. I absolutely believe it. You do not have to talk me into that because, living in the Tampa Bay area for as long as I have been, I don't even go, wow, can you believe it? I don't say that no more. I just say, yeah, that's Florida, ain't it? But hey, I will share this with you. So coming up here in just a little bit, April the 6th, that's a week from today, it's Sunday, April the 6th, the Boneyard chapter, which that's actually the name of the Pasco Pinellas ABATE chapter is called the Boneyard chapter. Because for context, a boneyard, for those of y'all that don't know, that's a place where motorcycles go to die and you go to get your used parts and stuff from. They call it a boneyard. That's some old MC stuff. But anyway, so the Boneyard chapter is actually has something kind of cool. The name is similar to the show. Just see what we did there. But but the Boneyard chapter is doing a kick-ass poker run on April the 6th. It's going to start, I think, the first location is at Newport Richey, at a VFW in Newport Richey. Last stop is at Let's Ride in Hudson. But let me know if you don't have a flyer. If you're in the local area, definitely you want to show up for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Folks are going to win some money. A lot of good stuff going on. So if you know about poker runs, I'm restricted on what I'm allowed to say for legal reasons. But you don't want to miss that particular poker run.
Now, is that a gypsy run or is it an escorted ride?
No, it's a gypsy run.
Oh, okay. Just technicalities. Got to ask these questions.
Oh yeah,
Not that I care, but
no, I understand. We got a lot of good stuff coming up. Also, in the month of May, possibly the 18th, it might end up being the 25th, but I'll double check. But there is an attorney who is more like the attorney as it relates to motorcyclists, motorcycle clubs. He is a foremost expert in things related to like RICO cases and whatnot. His name is Jerry Theophilopoulos. We call him Jerry T. He won a Man of the Year award from Incom. I think around the same time that Jay Leno won it. Anyway, I say all that to say this is at the West Florida Confederation of Clubs is hosting a RICO seminar. It's going to be led by Jerry T with a few other legal lawyers and all that. But it's something that doesn't happen often, but it's going to be opened up to, don't want to say the general public, but for other motorcycle clubs that want to be aware of these things. If you're a club member and you want to learn about how to protect yourself from law enforcement or how not to get set up by law enforcement, anything like that, you want to make it your business to be at that COC meeting. That's going to be in May. It's either the 18th or the 25th. Y'all stay in contact with me. I'll make sure you know. But this will be opened up to folks outside of West Florida's Confederation of Clubs, which never happens, but it's that important that folks need to know about what the laws are, what they can do, what they cannot do, how to avoid getting tricked up. That's super important. So if you don't know about that, learn about it. Talk to your club members, let them know. If you can't make it, make sure somebody you know is there. And communicate with myself or somebody from the WFL COC. You can check the website, WFLCOC.org. Check that out and communicate with myself or one of my board members to request to come, because even though it's going to be open, we still want to know who's coming in the door. Like, this isn't like, we don't want local PD to say, oh, you said anybody. It's semi-open. I'll put it like that. Anyway, so make sure, that's important. Write that stuff down. Last instruction for anybody watching: take a minute. If you haven't already done it, hit the like button. Do a brother a solid. Hit the like button. Share this show. Let folks know about it. We're trying to get out some good information about some good stuff. But anyway, that's all the housekeeping I got.
No.
Okay. Yeah, what?
So the second Sunday of April, A-Bait State meeting in Tallahassee. Say that following day, Monday, ride to the Capitol. Then you slipped up and forgot some shit.
I didn't forget shit. No, what happened? No, good.
Second weekend in June, the Boneyard chapter is hosting the A-Bait State meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Which
there's that too. What he said.
They always throw a pretty decent party after the meeting.
Yes, Lord.
We had a great time last year. To the point where Kaylee stole a cup from the Elks Lodge that we still have at the house. Allegedly.
I don't know that that's true at all.
It's a hell of a sweet teacup. That's all I can say.
Those are accusations that haven't been substantiated. My attorney told me that. But no, okay. So yeah. So in June, second weekend in June, the Boneyard chapter is hosting the A-Bait State meeting. And of course, I want to say this year, the party is the night before. But it's definitely going to be a thing that you do not want to miss. It's a good old time. And again, legalities restrict me from going all into detail like I really, really want to, because it's A-Bait, so I'm not allowed to say all of the stuff that they don't want me to say. But I'll put it like this.
Hey, I can say whatever I want to say.
Okay. Well, we'll say it then, Billy.
And there's always any decent chapter to host a state meeting. There's always some kind of party that goes on. We don't condone drinking and riding. We don't condone drug use and riding. But I will say most of these parties happen at the hotel that we're staying at. So as long as you can walk back to your room, there's really not an issue. That being said, the parking lot or the pool area is usually where the party is.
Okay.
And then one other thing, for anybody that has been following the Boneyard, has noticed that I've been absent.
A little bit.
Anybody that was around when we started this, once I moved, knew the information that was put out, and that the Boneyard will have a new member here within the next couple weeks.
Yep. There's a brand new baby coming.
Thank God.
This dude done messed around and made a baby. Hey, what up, though?
Hey, I just hope he looks like his mama.
Oh, Lord, that baby better look like his mama. Hey, that's the thing. Like, we're praying on it. Hey, man, AB, Archbishop, what's up, brother?
What's up, baby?
Yeah, man, but
I ain't heard from him in a minute.
Yeah, bro, he been doing the damn thing, man. He's been doing his thing. But I'll tell you, but in regard to the party, we got a few things in store. So don't get me wrong, parking lot parties always, that's what they actually call it, the parking lot party. So that's going to happen, but a lot of other things, which again, I'm not at liberty to discuss, but.
And I ain't got no details on y'all.
Yeah. Oh, so. I do. But it's good stuff going on. But anyway, congratulations, Tate, on the new baby that's on his way. He's going to be here in like 20 minutes. So that's why he's at, for those of y'all that don't know, forgive me for giving your location. I don't normally do that. His dad's in the hospital right now, just in case. But anyway, let's go ahead and get it moving. Yeah, yeah, he's in the hospital. All right. So to get us started, so here's what we're talking about tonight. And yeah, let me pull that up. So I'll just, as per usual, I'm going to just read the description a little bit. And this actually happened earlier today. We had a COC meeting, very jam-packed, successful COC meeting today. But after that meeting, you got a couple hundred folks in the damn building. You're talking to a lot of people. This one cat's like, "Hey man, let me holler at you for a minute." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, cool. Let's."
At Miami.
But so what happens? The guy, this was early today. This biker asked me for a few minutes of my time to pick my brain. He said that he was on the fence about leaving his club, and he asked me if he should do it. So he reminded me that I had done a podcast on the subject a while back. It was actually like 2-3 years ago. So I know which show he was talking about. Anyway, he reminded me that I had done a podcast on this a while back. He said he watched it before, but he wanted to hear what my thoughts were firsthand. So since it's been a couple of years since that show, I figured it's time to revisit the subject. This time, I thought it would be just really great to get the opinions on some feedback, what everybody else out there thinks about what happened. So that's what we're doing. So we're going to take a little ride tonight and delve into the subject. So the official question is, what are 5 things to consider before quitting your MC? 5 things to consider before quitting your MC. So that's what we're talking about. And already, I mean, I threw out a post on Facebook basically asking that same exact question. And surprisingly, women have a lot of opinion about this, because a lot of ladies are married to these guys, the wife, the girlfriend, to some guy who's in a club. So those women, obviously they have an opinion about all of this stuff. And then you have women that are members of clubs themselves, and obviously you got brothers from all walks of life all over the country who have, if you've been in your club or a club for a while and you haven't ever had the thought, oh, what the hell am I doing? You probably ain't doing something right, because at some point you should think, what the hell am I doing? Why am I here? Right? That's a natural part of it. What you do after that thought is kind of what we're talking about. So you guys definitely tonight, if you got an opinion about it, feel free to call in. I definitely want to hear from you. The phone number is 310-870-8994 if you want to call in, or, the comment section, that's always open too. So y'all just let us know what you're thinking. But in the meantime, I guess in regard to that subject, Tate, so like in your case, we won't delve all into the club stuff because I know you got some concerns, but being that you were for a long time the president of the largest ABATE chapter in the friggin' state of Florida, and you did that for a while. You're currently, I'm doing your resume, but you're currently the youngest state sergeant at arms in ABATE history, if I'm not mistaken. So having said that, have you ever just said, the fuck am I doing? I need to get the hell out of here?
All the time.
Really? So why?
Yeah.
So first of all, what gets you to that point where you're like, what the hell am I doing? What am I doing here?
You get burnt out. So there's this old saying that you do the job you want, not the job you have. Well, when you do a job better than the person that's currently doing that job, there's a lot of times where that person doesn't give that job up. They don't replace that person. You just continue to do their job, and you get the shit end of the stick. I'm not saying I'm doing that right now. I'm just saying that shit does happen. I can't speak on a lot of shit, but I can say that at the chapter level, there's a lot of times where the president is doing what feels like everybody else's job, and it gets fucking old quick. Um, Honestly, one of the best things that ever happened to me was losing Lake County. Um, I wouldn't have my son on the way. Uh, I wouldn't have the amazing family I have, regardless of situations. Um,
Why does this feel like a therapy session all of a sudden? What the hell? The hell just happened? What? No, but I'm with you. I think I follow you where you're coming from.
But no, honestly, losing Lake County is probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Would I ever take another chapter back? It would depend on the situation. Um, and as far as somebody leaving a club, ABATE's not a club, it's an organization of volunteers. Um, Keep that in mind that nobody gets paid. Nobody, I mean, they pay dues, but anything you buy, like in the club world, you pay for your patches, but when you leave, those patches don't leave with you. When you leave ABATE, your
Well, let me
patches
qualify.
leave
It,
with
it,
you.
it, it depends on the club and what you can say paid for. You know, so it depends on the club. It depends on, but I see what you're getting at. But you're right. In the club world,
With ABATE,
club.
whatever you purchase, it leaves with you, whether you leave on good standing or not. Um, Not to get into too much information, but there's an individual that has been thrown out of ABATE a couple years back. There's one that may possibly be getting tossed out here soon for situations that ABATE does not condone whatsoever. 100%. Nobody in this lifestyle should condone. Um, Nobody in any fucking lifestyle should condone. I'm just gonna put it
Right,
out
right,
there
right.
that way,
Well, no,
um,
you don't got to
without
get
going
that.
into
But
details.
yeah.
But even though those people are out and they can never come back,
Mm-hmm.
ABATE, you can't make them turn their shit in.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take their shit from them. They could still be out there representing ABATE, representing,
Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing we can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
That is
You know,
very discouraging.
it's
Things
funny.
like that make people that think and live a similar life to some of us very upset.
Well, let me jump in there for a second. Whilst I understand what you're saying, and I really do, I think it's important for ABATE's benefit because I don't want somebody to hear this and say, "Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of folks leaving and running around with patches and all like that." So it's important to explain that that's is rare as hell.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen often, and two, there are recourses, which we'll not delve into them here, but
Yes, yes, yes.
there's always recourse for that.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, 100%. Um, and there's really only two things you can get thrown out of ABATE for.
right.
Um, One I feel you should die for, and the other one would be stealing money.
Right.
Um,
Well, but here's, and I'm with you, but we're talking about being thrown out, as opposed to leaving like because you want to leave. But
yeah,
I see what you're saying. Hold on, let me do this real quick because Pump 17 has a question that I think is a good question. What if you're in a chapter of Yes Men who's scared to call out wrong when wrong happens? Now, if that question, and that's, by the way, that's a good question. That's a good
that's a
question.
very good question.
Let me put it
Because
like this. In regard to that question, you got to consider a couple of things. Assuming that Pump 17 is the person who sees all of these scared yes men, and it's not really you that's the problem, Pump 17. Because sometimes if everybody else is saying we need to go left, and Pump 17 is saying let's go right, Pump 17, you might be the problem. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just giving you, devil's advocate type stuff. But let's assume that Pump 17 is 100% correct, surrounded by yes men. Somebody's messing up in a bad way, and nobody wants to say anything. At that point, Pump 17, you got a couple of choices. Your choices are to suck it up, go with the flow. But if you think that direction you can't do it, it's just wrong, or for whatever reason, you got two options. You can bounce, and again, every club is different. I don't know the dynamics around it, but you can go through the necessary steps to no longer be in that club, or you can start talking to people and working with people, which is always the first thing to do, is to talk to your brother. I'm assuming, it's a male club, but talk to your brothers individually if you got to, and as a group if you have to. But communication, don't all that little whispering behind people's back and stuff like that. That's just as bad as having a room full of yes men, a bunch of whispering asses.
I got something on that one too.
Yeah, look, I'm saying be a grown up about it, confront, have conversation, and if that don't work, then either suck it up, go with the flow, and watch the bus go off the damn side of the road, or bounce.
I'm
So
gonna
and it
say,
sucks that those are the answers, but those are the answers. What do you say, Tate?
well, talk to you, and I'll word it this way: talk to your members, because we don't know what kind of club it is. So
Right.
talk to the members. Your other option would be, depending on if that club has multiple chapters or not. Sometimes you may be a good fit for that club, but not that chapter.
Oh
I
yeah.
know there's plenty of times within ABATE, even we've had people that are great ABATE members, but their closest local chapter doesn't fit their personality.
Mm.
So they'll drive or ride to another chapter that's near them because, um, hold on, I was trying to read what Deuce said. But sometimes you may not be a good fit for that chapter, and maybe you need to look into going to a different chapter. You might do a lot better and be more productive in a different chapter.
Yeah. Right on. Pump 17 anytime. Hey, keep watching. We come up with all kinds of silliness. I'll tell you what was kind of interesting. No kidding. So Miami, she heard that we're working on this show, and I watched this episode. I might be able to share it with the screen share thing. But anyway, so she kind of took it upon herself to get some answers, doing her investigative reporting. But seriously, so she came up with compiled a list of things to consider. I don't know if it's 5, it might be more than 5. Things to consider before you quit your MC. Is it time? So one of the things that she said, this was interesting to me, and we'll kind of chop it up on each of these. The first thing that came up was personal safety. Personal safety. Now, I understand from her standpoint how it is that she might come to that. Personal safety, depending on what's going on with your club, that might be, your club might be involved in something, who knows? Maybe it's personal safety because y'all ride a lot or you're nervous about right. So if personal safety is your issue, then you shouldn't have gotten your club in the first place. Because depending on your club or what type of club you're in, this ain't for the faint of heart anyway. And if you want to be safe, stay on your couch. That's just my opinion about that. But
You
that
can't
is,
hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch. Big
yeah,
Dog Clothing put that out years ago.
yeah. But look, it's a thing that that does come up. I knew years ago there was this guy. He was a probate, and there had been like 3 funerals in very close proximity to one another. They were within like a week and a half or 2 weeks. There were 3 people died, and this probate hears about the fact that this happened, and folks are going to the funerals. And he said to the other fellas, "Hey, I didn't sign up for this." I said, "Well, what did you sign up for?" "Well, I wanted to ride my motorcycle and chase girls and party." Yeah, but there's more to it than there's just
You
that.
can do that without a patch.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you didn't need to be in a club to do that stuff. So you go, "Oh, I didn't sign up for this stuff." Long story short, he quit that day. That day. And I remember being, wow, that was surprising to me. But then it dawned on me, hey, you know what? If that's how he felt, why waste time a friggin' year or whatever it would be being a probate just to finally say, oh my gosh, I don't feel safe. He needed a safe space. I don't mean to chuckle about it, but seriously, this ain't just because you can don't mean that you do. Motorcycle clubs are fun as all get out. There's a lot of reasons why people get in clubs, but they're not for everybody. It's like I think about not comparing motorcycle clubs to Marine Corps, but if it was easy, everybody would do it. You have to want to do this. But the other thing she mentioned was club bylaws. So bylaws and club bylaws, some folks don't do good with rules. And again, depending on what type of club, some of y'all, a lot of y'all folks know what I'm talking about. Hey, Bob, aka OG. Hey, right on. Bob chimed in. So Bob is what you call club adjacent. He's been very close to a lot of motorcycle clubs, and he would be the first one to tell you that we got more rules than the doggone Constitution. Whereas there's other clubs that are basically, there's other groups I see, they're barely a club. They don't have any rules. They show up, stagger in together. They leave without each other. They argue and fight with each other. One of their brothers could be in a bad spot. They don't give a damn. Hey, that's your problem, not mine. I'm like, why do you even wear the same patch?
Without going into detail, ABATE's bylaws is somewhere between 30 and 50 pages long. I can tell you that because I helped write them. That being said, we're a motorcycle rights organization full of volunteers, and I've already told you there's only 2 things you can be thrown out for. Y'all coming topics. Tate, you still gotta pay child support tomorrow. LOL, talk to you later, brother. That's wetback.
Look, so and I get that, but what I'm saying in regard to bylaws is that bylaws are, and every club has them, don't get me wrong. The thing is, some people, for whatever reason, are not conditioned to say, here's a bunch of rules that you agree to follow, and then actually they'll agree on day one. Hell yeah, I just want this patch. But then later on, when there's some bylaw that says, hey, you need to do such and such with everybody else, all of a sudden it's an inconvenience. And after that happens a time or 2 or 3 or whichever, maybe that's not. So again, it's not for everybody, So bylaws, that was one of the things that she brought up. And let's see, what else is there? Okay. Oh, now this is a good one. This financial obligation. Financial obligation. So as in this shit ain't free. It's not free. And you can spend a lot of money. I don't give a damn whether you're talking about an MRF, MC, OMC, a dominant 1%er club. In fact, the more you go up, the more expensive it is. I was told years ago when I was getting in this lifestyle, this real good dude by the name of Craven Moorhead, he was from the Outlaws. He told me, he said, a good outlaw is going to have a tank full of gas and a pocket full of money all the damn time. He says every club is going to support themselves. However they support themselves, you got to make sure that you do the same thing if you're going to be a part of this lifestyle. It ain't cheap. It ain't cheap. You're not allowed to be broke. I'm like, damn, that was years ago. It was like 25, 27 years ago. And I'm like, the hell does that mean? You're not allowed to be broke. I understand that now. That day I didn't. Now I get it, because look, between runs and charity stuff, and your brother needs this, your sister needs that. It's nonstop. But it does, after a while, you get conditioned to understand. You become real good at managing money. I mean, if you do it right, you become really good at managing money, but you become really good at making money. You will find yourself making a way to do all of the stuff that you need to do. But the other thing, in regard to financial responsibility, in regard to a legit club isn't going to let you just go down the drain just for the hell of it. Like if you're going through it, that's what your brothers are for. It's supposed to be. Your brothers are supposed to be there to watch it. I don't mean to where you turn your club members into a damn glorified ATM machine. I ain't saying that. But, everybody handles their business. But every now and then somebody might be in a tough spot. Guess what? I can't tell you how many times we pass the hat around to take care of something for somebody. God forbid they have an accident or something like that, or there's any number of things that could come up. But that's when being in the club. So as opposed to thinking financial obligations, sometimes it's I know I won't be able to do this for the next 6 months, year, 2 years. That's different than saying I'm going to have a rough couple of 3 months. Rough couple of 3 months, maybe you don't leave your club. A rough 2-3 years, no good stuff on your future coming. Yeah, maybe that's not. And by the way, every club's not like that. There's some clubs that barely have dues, so there's motorcycle clubs where everybody shows up in a carpooling it, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's a whole other show. That's a whole other show. But and K Black,
we all know some of those.
Yeah, K Black says the amount of money my old man puts in his motorcycle is astounding. He goes, you cannot be broke in this life. Look, sister, you ain't said nothing but the truth. It's true. I mean, I didn't even get into the bike. It's like the bike is like having child support. You will be spending dough on the regular. That's why one of the reasons that so many brothers give their bikes names. And I'm a father of two, or technically 2.5. I don't know about that third one. But, no, Anubis, that's an expensive motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
Don't
even get me started on Anubis.
Yeah. But hey, Anubis is doing good right now. And Big Blue, aka Marine One, that's the Raider. That's actually pretty cheap. I can't lie. That bike is bulletproof. Like nothing wrong with it ever.
Yeah, but you're always on Anubis too.
Yeah. But I'm gonna switch it up a little bit though. I was actually having that conversation today. Got a little cosmetic thing that I'm gonna change. After that, I'm gonna start.
Did you have a little family meeting and
yeah?
You talked to both of them, and you're like, I still love you.
Yeah.
But
me and Miami sat down. We went in front of the bikes, get in the doggone driveway, and like, hey, look, guys. No, but seriously, that's the thing. So K Black, you're 100% correct on that. Let's see what else Miami said. She came up with potential impact. This could go a couple ways. Potential impact on relationship with members. So if you leave the club, like Skinny actually said something like that much earlier. Let me see if I can find it. Skinny said, what the hell did you say?
That was actually brought up in the original video too. And there's been a lot of former 1%ers that have put out videos on TikTok and YouTube and things that have talked about members that have left and how some clubs will cut them off like immediately, like, oh, they're gone, they're not your brother anymore. And that's something people really need to think about, is like,
that goes back to the sort of people and what kind of club it is.
Yeah.
But Skinny was saying, well, anyway, what Skinny said was, I can't find it. Anyway, oh, here you go. Skinny said, there it is right there. Skinny said, before one leaves a family, they should consider the ones that they leave behind. That's a great way to put it. And so I guess what is this? So you leave your club, or if you're considering leaving your club, but you have really good, strong relationships with something like that guy over there, that is my brother. We're good. Now, what I've seen is this. I've seen guys leave clubs, and it didn't change not one thing with the guys that were truly his brothers. But I've seen the opposite, whereas, hey, we don't talk to him anymore, like as in plural. Like none of us, wear this patch, talk to him. For whatever reason, he's out. And, so that's some club shit that happens.
I can say I've seen both of those scenarios.
Yeah, me too. But see, you got to figure out what your situation is, and also, most importantly, what it's worth to you. Because, like, if some of those same people were part of the reason that you're leaving, then who cares anyway? Or so you would assume. But
So here's one for you.
Yeah, good.
Why are you leaving the club?
That's the biggest one. That's the biggest.
Because, and I'll put it this way: there's levels to this shit. Are you stepping up? Okay. Because if you're stepping up,
that's a totally different thing.
you're not really leaving. I mean, you're leaving your club, but you're going to the next level.
Right.
Like, if you're, let's say, an in-house support club for a main support club, and I'm
Right.
not trying to get into details or anything, or you're an affiliate club and you're going to a national support club, or you're going from a national support club to a dominant club. You're not really, I mean, you're leaving your club, but you're not really leaving your club. You're stepping up to the next level.
Right.
You've done everything you can at that point. You're going to the next level. Now, that being said, I feel like you really don't need to sit back and go, why am I leaving?
Look, that should be an absolute non-freaking issue. That should be a non-issue.
But there's
For instance,
situations where it is.
well,
I've seen it.
oh yeah, well, look. So what I've seen is like this, and this is, there's a lot of variables to this, but let's say, and for anybody who don't understand what we're talking about, just ask and we'll explain it. We're talking about you're a member of a club, but you have a subordinate or a senior club, a club senior.
A next step.
Right, a next step. It's not uncommon for the guy in the support club or the affiliate club to step up and go to his big brothers, right? When that happens, what's supposed to happen in most cases, hey, we're happy for you. Congratulations. Go make us proud. You came from us. Go make us proud. Then you also got some folks who feel like, oh, what the hell? You're leaving us. And I'll tell you a guy who not going to go into detail with it, but a great guy who was I'm trying to figure out how to. So real good guy. I brought him onto the set when he was really young. He was like 20 years old, wasn't even old enough to drink. Brought him onto the set, and he knew nothing about motorcycle clubs or anything else. But he knew how to ride, loved riding motorcycles. And when I introduced him to took him to a party one time, we just kind of ran into each other. Loved it from day one, and he excelled. He got in he was in a support club. He excelled, did every job in that support club and the whole thing. Impressive guy, very impressive guy. The conversation was floated around about him coming my way. And so someone asked me, say, hey, what do you think he'd think about that? I don't know. See, float it out to him, see what response you get. So I kind of hinted around about it. Honestly, I was thinking that he was going to say, hell yeah, can't wait. That's all I want. It was the exact opposite. He's like, man, he goes, I've been nervous that this might happen one day because I'm proven to be very solid. He goes, so I figured that something like this might come up. He goes, but I got to tell you, and he gave me the best answer I could have ever got. He goes, I love my club.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Of course you absolutely know who I'm talking about. But he says, look, I love you guys, and you guys are always going to be, I always got your back no matter what. You know that, and I do know that. And he said, but he goes, I love my club. He says, this is the first club for me. It's the last club for me. This is the only place I'm ever going to be. And he meant that shit. And who the hell am I to get mad about that kind of dedication? I'm like, good God, everybody ought to feel like that. I thought this dude was cool before he went cool 3.0 as far as I was concerned. I was super impressed with it. So Douche says, or D, without the oosh, said, I think the stepping up thing is outside the topic of the show, but it does bring up the whole thing of club, forever club. When stepping up and whether or not the forever was ever real. So I get that. But what happens is the reason, and I see what you're saying, D, but it's sort of like you're leaving your club, but you're not leaving your family. Because if you're stepping up, you're still in the same family. It's like getting a promotion, for lack of a better way to put it. It's like having the opportunity to get a promotion. And if you do everything right, you get promoted. So it's more that dynamic. So that's not really, so I see what you're saying as far as outside the scope. It is a little bit, but the feeling for somebody who feels they're left behind, that might feel the same. So that goes back to kind of what Miami was mentioning as far as the impact on relationships with other members. I'll take it a step further too. One more thing that I don't think anybody said, but when you go from when you leave your club, if I'm saying like if you got an old lady or a family like that, things change because if you leave the set completely, like hey, I'm leaving the club and I'm leaving the set, well, that's some different stuff. You got a lot of time on your hands now all of a sudden. And people who are not used to seeing you, you might be getting on their nerves like, man, it's Saturday. Why are you here? Like usually this is our time to do whatever. Your ass is gone to God knows where on a stupid motorcycle.
It's
Now
Friday night. Why are you home?
yeah, right. So there's that. But then the flip side of the coin is in some cases, you being around, hey, it feels good. Maybe, so maybe that works, but then maybe it doesn't. Also, if you think of it this way, if you're leaving your club, stepping up, man, you might get even busier than before. So if your old lady or your kids were missing you or you're getting on their nerves because you're always doing this stuff, don't think for a second that you're getting ready to slow down when you step up. Your ass is getting ready to go into hyperdrive, because that the big brothers move different and they move a lot. So
Well, in the comment on D, I've seen a number of support clubs that will take on the same colors of their dominant.
Yeah, sure. That's very common. Very common.
And I've also seen where instead of, let's say, Walmart Riders Forever, Forever Walmart Riders,
Right.
they'll say, Silver and Gold Forever, Forever Silver and Gold.
Right. Sure.
And that way, when they do step up, it's not that they're giving up that forever. It's they're still in that family.
Right.
They're just at that next level of that family. They're no longer the kid. Now they're the parent. And then they're stepping up from the parent to the grandparent.
Now,
To give it a little family oriented way of looking at it.
right. And I think a lot of folks, when you think of it that way, because that's how it feels. That's definitely. I'll tell you one thing that when somebody steps up, which again, douche, outside the scope a little bit, but when you step up from that support club or what have you, and you go to the big brothers, what happens sometimes, not all the time, some guys get, patchitis because now, let's say they make it through, they spend a year and a half, however long it was, probating, and when they get them rags, man, I'm 6 foot tall. I'm bulletproof. Oh, by the way, and I'm an asshole now too, because I'm the big brother now. So maybe somebody that was in your that you were in the support club with, maybe you didn't like him so much, but now you're senior to him, and you're gonna let him know it. So when guys do that, that's when they what I call the switch up. So if you all of a sudden because you stepped up, you made it through, and you got to turn into an ass, or you're acting different, there was something always fucked up about you. I don't believe in that whole, I did this thing, so now I'm great and you're not. No, but I've seen it. As my mother used to say, oh, you want to get brand new. I can't stand when people try to get brand new. I've known like a dude said, I was at an open house Friday night, and this one percenter was telling me a story about a guy who stepped up, not a 1% club, but he stepped up to another club and he's got a new name and all this kind of stuff. And his name, the guy's new name was something like Terrorizer or some real tough sounding name. He says he wasn't terrorizing nobody about a year and a half ago when I was whooping that ass. He was calling for his mommy and shit. So now he's like, now he's Terrorizer, because the guy's like, oh, I'm Terrorizer now. No, you're not. You're the same bitch that got your ass beat, a year and a half ago in front of God and everybody. Anyway, my point is that don't go switching up. If you step up like a man. Don't start acting funny with people and all like that, because if you do, you're a bitch. You know what I mean?
So let's take a trip down memory lane because we've all been there. The difference between quitting the club. Okay. There's a time period between being a friend of a club and being a member of a club or a probate. in which you take time to really get to know the club.
Right.
You really ain't got no job but to figure out if that club is for you. And there's some clubs that your hang around period may be fucking 2 days. There's some clubs that require your hang around period to be 6 months to a year. If you legitimately do your job during your hang around period, it's going to be hard for you to find a good reason to leave that club.
Well, here's what I think. And by the way, I agree with you. I think like this. Now, here's some giant set situations in general. And there's, again, a lot of different clubs. We keep saying that. And then geography has a thing because they
Oh,
do
yeah.
it on the West Coast is different than it is on the East Coast as it is in Texas. Some things are universal. Some things are geographical. But
We all do shit fucked up here in Florida.
no, wait, man. No, I disagree. Florida's a legit biker state. I mean, we got 12 months of summer and and beaches.
Well, I mean, we had 3 days of fucking snow here this year, so
Right, yeah, that was crazy. But I guess what I'm getting at is that certain things should be now different clubs. There's clubs, no kidding, where you can patch. They'll do a patch for patch with anybody, or you can be a member today. There's clubs that say, hey, give me 20, 30, 60, 90 days, and that's it. Ready to go. I personally, I think that's freaking nuts. Because here's the thing. One, the hang around, which that's an actual thing. Like, as in, I don't know who you are. I don't know that I even want you to be in my club, let alone just go ahead and become a prospect, a probate, a probie, like straight away. No, I don't know you. And maybe one or two guys in the club, maybe 3, 4 guys. But if I don't know you, your ass needs to hang around until I think I do. Because I don't know that you're right for my club. And what you shouldn't do is co-sign. Well, that guy said he's okay, so I guess he's okay. No, no. In my humble opinion, no. If I don't know that you're right for my club, you need to hang around till the cows come home. I don't care. And there's votes and all that kind of stuff. Every club is different as to how that process works. But the hang around period is not just so that assholes like me can sit around saying I don't know you, but it's also for your opportunity to say, hey, I don't know who the hell Big Bone 1%er is. I don't know if I want to be in a club with that guy. So you need to be checking me out the same way I'm checking you out.
exactly.
And if there's a good match and hey, folks are vibing, I'm not saying it's got to be 100%, but hey, if this club, the way that we move makes sense to you, okay, hang around until somebody gives you the invite to become a probate. And while you're a probate, guess what? Same thing. It's still your opportunity, because anytime before you put on them rags, you can say, you know what, this ain't for me. No harm, no foul. You can bounce. Nobody's got a bad word to say about you. They ain't gonna put you out bad. Hey, you was never in the club, so you're not out bad or nothing else. That's your opportunity, your real opportunity to find out, do I need to be here? And if not, that's the time to do it. So I always say, take your time with that. So that's why when I hear guys saying, oh, I got patched in 2 weeks, nah, unless you did something outrageously cool, you wanted to be in that club and you did something that they appreciated so much that they, boom, put these on, you earned it. That's a different situation. And that does happen. Doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. And it's a part of motorcycle lore. That's a way to get patched. I know some guys that got patched like that. But anyway, so this is what we're thinking about as it relates to 5 things to consider before you quit your MC. We want to keep the conversation going. So if any of y'all have any questions and you want to talk about it online, all of this is going. We're here on YouTube and StreamYard and all that, but on Facebook, we're definitely having a conversation. I'm getting ready to jump in there in a little bit myself. Speaking of which, if you're on Facebook, we don't always see your comments, but if you go into your settings, you can allow StreamYard to share your info. That means when you make a comment on Facebook, we see it right here in real time. So if you get a chance, do that. So if you follow the show, we can kind of interact and see what you're talking about and all like that, and speak back with you. And you can see the comments that we make back and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, so 5 things to consider before you quit your MC. And I think Tate said it best is why. Freaking why, right? That's the first thing, you know? And so yeah, think about some stuff. And if you spent a good amount of time to get in that club, that's why I always say them 5-minute probates, that don't work. You got 5 minutes and who cares? But if you spent your time and energy, blood, sweat, and tears and all that kind of stuff to get in your club, why would you be so quick to give it up? I hope if you do think that way, that you got a good reason. I ain't going nowhere. As far as me, I ain't going nowhere. I'm that. This is it. This is it for me. This is where I'm at. But in the meantime, Tate, what if anything you got to say to the nice folks out there?
Wish me luck. I'm about to have a baby here. I'm terrified. That little thing gonna be like breakable and shit.
Oh, yeah. His new
I mean,
baby.
you're about to have a baby, but we about to have a baby. I'm over here getting yelled at. Who's about to have a baby? Anyways, but like, yeah, he gonna be like breakable and shit. But you know,
Yeah.
he'll be the next co-host of the Big Boneyard.
Oh yeah, that's all right. The next generation. Clinton said, I was surprised to hear a 1%er club hesitate at a legacy MC member coming to them because of the two-way respect. Okay. Then let's see here. Great comparison to regular job interviews, not just about them deciding to make an offer to you, also about figuring out if you even want to accept the offer. Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it.
And look at your hang around period as like your 90-day probationary period.
Say what now?
Think about your hang around period as your 90-day probationary period.
Yeah. And that, again, if it's 90 days. I know a dude from a 1%er club. He was, in fact, I have a good friend of mine came to my club. He was a hang around for 3 freaking years. And 3 years, like wasn't nothing to it. And then I remember the day that he decided. The guy said, man, he says, you've been around this day. He said, you're always here. You're doing everything we're doing. What the hell are you waiting on? And it's like a light bulb. I swear, I remember like it was yesterday. He said, what am I waiting on? And
potato salad.
And look, next day, boom, you know, he's like, what do I need to do to get going? And you know, this is a different conversation. This cat's been around 3 freaking years. So they're like, it's about time, motherfucker. You know, there wasn't nobody gonna ask your ass again. You know, it's been 3 years. So yeah, you know, he's like furniture, he's always there. But anyway.
Congratulations again, Tate, and LOL at your wife for calling you out in the delivery room.
Okay. Skinny said, I've had 5 children and it didn't hurt me none. All right. Dude said, LOL, cigar box. Skinny. And then Clinton Lund said, congratulations on the baby. You're concerned because you care, and that means you'll do great. So that's
I hope so.
So I'll tell y'all what. So in the meantime, like I said, before you consider leaving your MC, give it some thought, ask the question why, and consider all those things that we talked about tonight. But yeah, we'll continue some of this conversation on Facebook or any of the other social media stuff. Remember, we got some good stuff going on. Lots of stuff. There's the poker run I mentioned. There's income coming up. Bring your ass. And other than that, thank y'all so much for joining us here at Big Boneyard tonight. And guess what? After careful thought and consideration, we're going to do it again in about 7 days.
I may be there. I may not. We'll see what happens in the next week.
You better have your ass there. Bye.
I decided to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.
Welcome to the Big Boneyard. Enter at your own risk.